Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to deliver a lesson for class 11th, subject Zoology. Since we have started in our previous topic a new chapter, Cell, the unit of life, and we have studied about the differences between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now today we will discuss about the structural details of the eukaryotic cell. Now, eukaryotic cells are those cells which have a nuclear membrane and other membrane-bound organelles in their cytoplasm, and because of the presence of these membrane-bound organelles, there is extensive compartmentalization of the cytoplasm in case of eukaryotic cells. And also the genetic material in eukaryotic cells is arranged in the form of chromosomes in nucleus. Since these cells or prokaryotic cells are found in all protists, plants, animals and fungi. Here in this sketch I have drawn the structure of a typical plant cell as well as an animal cell. Both are the eukaryotic cells, and now you can see the main and organelles in these cells are almost similar, except that the plant cells have a large vacuole, whereas in animal cells these large vacuoles are absent. And another difference of the plant and animal cell is that these plant cells have a cell wall or cellulosic cell wall, whereas the cell wall is lacking in animal cells. And thirdly, plant cells have an extra organelle than animal cell, which is called as plastid, and which is used for the photosynthesis. Now, both the cells have the common covering, that is called the plasma membrane. Now we will discuss the structural details of these cell organelles one by one, and today in our class we will discuss about the cell membrane, which we call as plasma membrane. Now you can see in both these cells the cell membrane is composed of a lipid bilayer. Here this is the lipid bilayer, this is the one layer of lipids, and the second layer of lipids is lipid bilayer, and also contains certain proteins. These yellow colored substances are shown in the different proteins in these cell membranes, and you can also see that these proteins are called as transmembrane proteins, which run across the length of this cell membrane from one end to another end. And there are peripheral proteins and also partly embedded proteins, also known as the integral proteins. Here these are the integral proteins, this is the transmembranal protein, and this is the peripheral proteins. Now membrane proteins are therefore classified as integral and peripheral proteins. The membrane of human erythrocyte has 52% proteins and 40% lipids. Now this model of this cell membrane is known as the fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane, and this membrane was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972, and this model is widely accepted model of the cell membrane. Now there are very important functions which the cell membrane performs. The most important function of the cell membrane is the transport of molecules across it. Now there are two methods of transport, that is the active transport and the passive transport. And also many neutral solutes may move across the membrane by simple diffusion. And also water moves across the membrane by osmosis. And osmosis, the flow of liquid from a place of lower salt concentration to a place of higher salt concentration, which you have already studied about. Now the polar molecules follow facilitated diffusion that actually require a carrier protein to pass through the non-polar lipid layer. A few ions of molecules are transported across the membrane against their concentration gradient by making use of ATP, and this type of transport is known as active transport. That is, when certain ions or molecules are transported across the cell membrane against the concentration gradient making use of ATP, it is called as active transport. For example, sodium potassium pump in the cell membrane. The next cell organelle which we have to study about is the cell wall, which will be discussed in our next topic. Until then, thank you.